They say that after 60, life should start slowing down, that you've seen enough, felt enough, and now it's time to rest. But life rarely follows that script. The truth is, the later chapters of life often become even more complex, not because of age, but because of wisdom. You see more clearly now, and that clarity can be both a gift and a burden. People will tell you not to give up, to find someone so you won't be alone, to start over while you still can. But few will warn you about the hidden price: losing your peace, your independence, and sometimes your dignity. At this stage, mistakes are no longer measured in wasted years. They're measured in the peace that never returns. This is Stoic Reflections, where we explore timeless truths from Stoicism, psychology, and the art of inner strength. In this video, you'll discover 7 lessons of Stoic wisdom that reveal why peace, not passion, must be your greatest love in the later years of life. Because the real strength of aging gracefully isn't found in who holds your hand. It's found in how still your soul remains when you're standing alone. 1. Your peace before a partner. At 60 or 70, the most valuable thing you possess isn't a house, a pension, or your savings. It's your inner peace, that quiet rhythm that allows you to sleep without restlessness, to sip your coffee without hurry, to read without interruption, and to live at your own pace. Yet so many people, fearing loneliness, throw themselves into relationships that cost them exactly what took decades to build: serenity. They chase companionship, believing it will bring comfort, when in reality, it often brings noise, conflict, and a slow erosion of peace. Stoicism reminds us that the only thing truly under our control is our mind, our thoughts, our choices, our interpretation of what happens. But when you allow chaos into your life through another person's habits, temper, or instability, that control begins to fade. Love is beautiful, but it is not worth the price of your calm. True love never demands your peace as proof of devotion. Ask yourself, how many hours of peace do you gain each week with this person, and how many do you lose? If the balance tilts toward loss, then what you have is not love, it's distraction. Peace is not loneliness. Peace is freedom, the freedom to live in harmony with yourself. At this stage of life, serenity is your greatest form of wealth, and no companionship, no promise, and no romance is worth trading it for. Because being alone is not the tragedy. Losing yourself in someone else's chaos is. 2. Loneliness is not failure. There's a belief that poisons the later years of life, the idea that being alone means you've failed, as if your worth depends on whether someone sits beside you at dinner. But solitude, when chosen, is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It's the moment you stop begging for company to feel complete and finally realize that peace doesn't require witnesses. There was a time when an empty house on a Sunday felt heavy, but as the silence deepened, something changed. I began to notice the quiet beauty in doing things at my own pace, cooking what I liked, listening to music no one argued about, reading without interruption. That day, I understood that solitude, when embraced, is not loneliness. It's clarity. Emotional intelligence teaches us this balance, to sit with ourselves without judgment, to create small rituals that make our alone time sacred, and to replace the phrase, "I'm alone," with, "I'm at peace with myself." The people who suffer most from loneliness are often those who never learn to enjoy their own company. They enter relationships not from love but from fear, demanding that another person fill the emptiness they never faced within. But no one can carry that weight. As the Stoics said, it's not events that disturb us, but how we interpret them. Loneliness is not pain. The pain comes from the story you attach to it. I'm forgotten. I'm unloved. I'm too late. Those are not truths, they are thoughts, and you can choose new ones. Solitude, when respected, is not emptiness. It's fertile ground. It's where your mind becomes still, your heart becomes honest, and your spirit remembers who you are without anyone else's reflection. 3. Health before romance. Many people in their later years believe that love will fix everything, that companionship will fill the emptiness or give life new meaning. But love cannot cure what discipline neglects. No amount of affection can replace the daily work of caring for your body and mind. Love does not lower your blood pressure, heal your back, or remind you to walk each morning. Only you can do that. In the philosophy of Stoicism, your body is your first domain of control. You can't stop the years from passing, but you can decide how you meet them, with strength or with surrender. Aging with wisdom means treating your health as sacred. Your peace depends on it, because when the body suffers, the mind grows impatient. When energy fades, tolerance vanishes, and what began as affection often turns into frustration. Before you promise loyalty to someone else, make a wellness pact with yourself. Ask, am I honoring my body? Am I keeping the habits that protect my calm? Sleep, movement, good food, stillness. A partner can walk beside you to the doctor's office, but they cannot walk for you. They can support your healing, but they cannot replace your discipline. True self-respect begins when you realize that health is not vanity, it is virtue. Because no love can survive long when the foundation of vitality and balance is ignored. Take care of your health first, because a peaceful heart depends on a steady body, and a clear mind lives best inside a cared-for vessel. 4. Boundaries are acts of love. At this stage of life, many people believe that boundaries are unnecessary, that after 60 or 70, you should simply understand each other. But wisdom teaches the opposite. The older you grow, the more sacred your time, energy, and peace become, and the clearer your boundaries must be. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines for peace. They protect what keeps you balanced, your rest, your space, your routines, and your independence. When you fail to set them, resentment quietly grows. Small annoyances become silent frustrations, the unexpected visits, the constant calls, the demands that break your rhythm. The problem is not the other person, it's your silence. The Stoics valued temperance, acting with calm, not anger. A boundary is not aggression, it's clarity. It's saying, this is my quiet time, or this is my space. When spoken gently but firmly, it doesn't create distance, it creates respect. The truth is, someone who truly values you will appreciate your honesty. They'll see your boundaries as a guide to love you better, not as rejection. Only those who seek control will be offended by your limits. Never forget, peace does not come from saying yes to everyone. It comes from saying no to what drains you. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-respect in action. And at this age, respect, both given and received, is worth far more than any fleeting approval. 5. Freedom from emotional dependency. Dependency often hides beneath the language of love. It begins quietly, skipping a walk because your partner isn't in the mood, canceling a meeting with friends to stay close, waiting for their message just to feel complete. Over time, your life starts revolving around someone else's moods, habits, and approval. What once felt like connection becomes captivity. Stoicism reminds us that freedom is not found in isolation, it's found in self-sufficiency. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the soul becomes invincible when it is enough for itself. To love wisely is to stand beside someone, not beneath them. It's to share companionship without surrendering your identity. Ask yourself, do I still have passions that belong only to me? Do I still nurture my friendships and personal rituals? Do I still feel whole when I'm alone? Because love that demands your constant presence isn't love. It's fear disguised as affection. And fear will always ask you to shrink so it can feel safe. You can care deeply for someone without giving up the rhythm of your own life. The healthiest bond is not two halves becoming one. It's two complete souls walking side by side. When you depend entirely on another for joy, you hand over your peace as collateral. But when you find contentment within, every connection becomes freer, calmer, and more real. True companionship is not a cage. It's a meeting of two people who can stand alone and still choose to walk together. 6. Guard against manipulation. At this stage of life, your peace is priceless, and that's why you must protect it fiercely. Manipulation rarely arrives with anger. It arrives disguised as affection, concern, or kindness. It begins with small phrases. If you really cared, you'd do this. I just worry about you, that's why I check everything you do. Little by little, control replaces care. Manipulation feeds on guilt and confusion. It makes you question your memory, your instincts, your right to say no. And by the time you notice, you've already begun to doubt yourself. The Stoics taught prudence, the discipline of seeing clearly. They warned us not to judge people by their words, but by their actions. Ask yourself, do they respect my boundaries or test them? Do they take responsibility or always play the victim? Do they listen when I say no, or do they punish me with silence? Clarity is your greatest defense, because once you see manipulation for what it is, it loses its power. Healthy love invites freedom, not control. It doesn't silence your intuition, it strengthens it. And someone who truly values you will never fear your independence. They'll stand beside it. Remember this simple truth. Love that requires blindness isn't love, it's dependence. The moment you have to ignore your peace to keep someone close, you've already begun to lose yourself. Better a brief loneliness born from truth than a long companionship built on illusion. Your clarity is not a threat, it's your protection. Guard it as your most precious possession. 7. Peace is the ultimate freedom after everything. The love, the loss, the lessons. One truth remains. Peace is the final measure of a wise life. It isn't found in comfort or company, but in the quiet confidence that you no longer need to chase what disturbs your soul. At this age, peace is not weakness, it is mastery. It's waking up without hurry, walking without fear, and choosing silence over arguments that lead nowhere. It's knowing that your worth doesn't depend on who stays or who leaves. Stoicism teaches that true freedom is not having everything go your way, but remaining calm when it doesn't. That calm is built slowly, through discipline, clarity, and the courage to walk away from anything that costs your inner stillness. Many people fear solitude, yet solitude is where you finally meet yourself without noise. It's where you realize that the peace you once looked for in others has always lived quietly within you. Let go of what doesn't align with your tranquility, whether it's a relationship, an argument, or a past regret. Nothing is worth losing the stillness you fought so long to earn. Peace is not passive. It's the highest form of strength. It's not escape, it's presence. It's not emptiness, it's wholeness. And when you guard it, you become unshakable. Because in the end, love fades, health changes, time moves on, but peace, once truly found, becomes the only freedom that never leaves. Peace is not found in the noise of the world, but in the discipline of the soul. If these reflections spoke to you, remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering your response to it. Every moment of calm you protect is a victory of wisdom over impulse. And each day you choose stillness, you become a little freer. This is Stoic Reflections, a space to rediscover strength, clarity, and peace through timeless philosophy. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to share it, subscribe, and continue walking this path of inner mastery with us. Because peace is not a gift you find once, it's a practice you return to every day.